Hello, Gemini, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Jen with Bohemian Path Tarot, and I have a cold. I'm so sorry about my voice, but I've got to record these Tarotscopes tonight, or we're not going to get these done until June. So we're going to persevere. I've got some tea, I've got some lozenges, and I've got these gorgeous decks, so let's do this. As always, these are general readings for a general Gemini audience. So they might, really resonate. They might resonate here and there. Please just take what resonates and leave the rest. I invite you to check out the videos for your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign. And I'm going to take a sip of tea here. Sorry for the slurping. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle. And if you've been here before, you know that I like to fast forward over the shuffling, but I will catch up with you as I am about to lay out the cards. See you in just a second. Okay, Gemini. Let's see what we've got for May. 6 of Wands. Justice. Hermit. Ba-doop, ba-doop. And the Fool. I want this reading. I am jealous. Okay. And I forgot to mention the decks that I'm using. I usually like to do that. We've got here the Curious Travels Tarot. And then I'm going to pull a card from the Familiar Field Oracle. The Eagle says, get that in focus, freedom, perspective, victory. Yep, that's totally echoed in your tarot cards too. Get that without glare. Okay. Yep, this is totally what's going on over here. So let's go through the tarot first. Okay, so the Fool. This is all about new beginnings, fresh starts, new chapters. And there's also a piece with the Fool about no fear, There's this piece that, when you're going off on a new beginning, maybe you don't have all the skills you need, and maybe you don't quite know the direction you're going or where even you're heading, and there's no reason to be afraid that you don't have the skills or you don't really know where you're going yet. Just, go, do, try, play. That's what the Fool is all about. Just, enjoy the journey. Especially for those of us of a certain age, there can be a time in our life when we don't want to look foolish, when we want to have a plan, when we want to look polished, when we want to look like we know what we're doing, when we want to be perceived as an expert, as a grown-up, And then there comes another phase in our life when we can let go of all of that again, and we can just be, and go with the flow. This is that kind of letting go of expectations, letting go of a need to be perceived a certain way or seen a certain way, and just experiencing life as it happens, as it unfolds. This is that no fears card. And there's a piece of that with the eagle as well. But that's because the eagle is so powerful. So I guess we'll come back to the eagle. Now, the Six of Wands is a victory card. The Six of Wands is a rock star. The Six of Wands has performed some great feat in some versions of the tarot. We see a victor coming back from, war, having, won some great battle. In some decks, we see like a rock star playing to a crowd. There's always a victory wreath. There's always, crowds like reaching out for the central character. The central character is above hands or a crowd. They're like on another level from the rest of the field. So if you're not experiencing it yet, early in May, there's some sort of victory. You win, like you get a promotion, or you get a part in a play, or a write-up in a newspaper, or your newspaper. Do those even exist anymore? What am I saying? I guess I just dated myself, outed myself as an old person. Maybe some content of yours goes viral, something like that. You get the idea. And take it as it resonates for you. But for some reason, you get some sort of recognition, validation. You're a little bit famous for some reason. Now, the next card we have is Justice. Justice is a card that's all about, karma, fair play, in its essence, in its original roots. But nowadays we find it comes up a lot about contracts and making sure that you get what's due you, that you get what's fair for you. So if from whatever happens over here, you're going over contracts, you renegotiate a contract, make sure that you get what's due you. So if you get this, if you're getting a job over here, make sure your contract says what you think you're owed or due. Read the fine print. If you're going to go into business with friends or family, make sure you get things in writing, that kind of thing. Justice is all about making sure, not making assumptions, but getting it in writing, making sure you get what's fair for you, making sure that you are fair to others you are doing dealings with. There's kind of a karma piece about this, right? And then here we go, the Hermit. Now, the Hermit, let's get Hermit in focus. Great. This is not about like going off on a mountaintop and being by yourself. The Hermit is actually about having the wisdom to make the right decisions, having the experience in life to make the right moves at the right time. So again, we're talking about not having fear because you have the wisdom and the life experience to know what to do and when to do it. The Hermit is actually a journeyer. You can see, even though it's dark, the Hermit has a lantern. It's really hard to see it in this depiction, but the Hermit also has a walking stick. And even though the Hermit has like this lantern with the light here, the light is really within the Hermit, because the Hermit has the wisdom within. So just like we talked about, the Fool, and it's not really depicted in the art of this particular card, but usually in most depictions of the Fool, The Fool is taking a journey. The Fool is usually depicted as a young person with a little satchel, and they're kind of walking like off a mountain. And usually the hermit is walking on the side of a mountain. So the hermit is kind of like the next octave of the Fool, but they're kind of better prepared for their journey. So what this reading is talking about is, having no fear to take this new journey, right? To go for it, and don't be afraid to like take this new journey, this new step, whatever it is. You're going to be almost immediately victorious. There's contracts ahead. Just be fair. Read the fine print. You have the wisdom to know what to do, to take the right action, to go the right direction. You have the life experience. You have the know-how, and you will go the right way. You'll know which way to go when you hit that, path. The hermit is like the more mature version of the Fool, basically. And so now we get to pulling it all together with the eagle here, right? So obviously the eagle is freedom, and perspective, because the eagle is a creature of the air. The eagle can see distances, can see far away, can see the big picture. Also, victory, right? The eagle has a tremendous wingspan, so it's very powerful. It glides so easily without effort. It travels far, and it can even use the air currents to soar. So if you need a little inspiration, consider the eagle, the king of the sky. I'm going to leave it there, Gemini. Thank you so much for dropping by. If you enjoyed this reading, I invite you to subscribe, leave a comment, like, share. In any case, take good care. Until next time, bye for now.